Well, it's the end of Matrix month, and you know what that means. It's time to revisit our final Star Wars movie.
Throughout the year, we've rewatched every Star Wars movie to recalibrate the HSWII scale, and the last on the list is this week's episode, Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
How Star Wars is it?
Well, hello there, Mike.
Hi, Josiah, and hi, listeners.
Hello, listeners.
I'm going to do like
sweeties.
radio guy character today.
Radio guy. Hey.
And hey, thanks for tuning in.
Look out for the traffic on LSD. That's Lakeshore Drive for those of you who aren't in Chicago.
If you're on LSD, look out for traffic. And you're tuning into how Star Wars is it?
And fart noise. I'll just make one, I guess.
Fart noise, gunshot.
Fart noise, gunshot, pew pew, air horn. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
This is not a radio show. This is a podcast, which is like a radio show.
Mm-hmm,
but you can take us anywhere.
Sort of worse, but better.
Yeah, worse. More portable, for sure. Remember the old days when you just had to listen to whatever was on the radio?
Yeah, were you a radio guy? I was.
I was. I would have my car radio always on the 91.1, which was the college radio station, and they had really good jams.
I stopped being a radio person fairly quickly after starting because it was like the 1 or 2 years that I cared about like popular top 40 hits. Yeah. And then eventually I was like, oh, CDs and MP3 player, and you have control over the shit you listen to.
Yes, I did. I had a 5-disc CD changer in my car
at
one point. It was great.
But anyway, this is not about that. We're talking about the movie Rogue One. And here on the show, How Star Wars Is It, we compare things to Star Wars, the sort of platonic ideal of Star Wars. If you took all the Star Wars movies, you mixed in the books, you added a dash of video games and some comics, and you put all of that into a pot, you boiled it up, you made a Star Wars chili, that, my friend, is a 10 out of 10, and we're comparing things to that chili.
That's right. So Mike just did the whole explanation, and I have nothing else to add to it. So we are talking today. What have we done
and
this
year?
year?
And just to piggyback off that, we are... do you ever experience that? Like someone says a whole thing, full thought, no new information needs to be added, and then someone else, because they feel like they need to say something in the meeting, will say, yeah, and to piggyback off that, the exact same thing you just said.
Yes, I do. I have not experienced it in a while because I'm not in the corporate world.
Sure.
But I do remember that, and it's always super annoying.
Yeah.
But we are finishing out the year with at the beginning of this year, we had a mission, and our mission was to revisit every single Star Wars movie in reverse HSWII order.
Right, so we had given every Star Wars movie a score of how Star Wars it was based on our scale.
Yeah, and we were like, did we do a good job? And
yeah,
the answer no.
There was something as like low as a 5 and something as high as a 10. So I think we decided no. In fact, we did not do a good job.
we had this week. We're talking about Rogue One, and Rogue One was our lowest rated with a 5 and a 6.
Yeah, which is pretty nuts because there's a Death Star and stormtroopers and like weird decisions and Darth Vader.
And we also had like we also rated like The Matrix as like a 7 and an 8. So but what we have sort of done is we've gone back and we've gotten really granular with our Star Wars movies. And what I think that we have decided on, or there's sort of this idea in the air, is that I think we should do the Michael Delaney approach. The movies exist in their own little scale.
Yeah. We'll cap them off by giving this one a score, and then we're going to condense them all and send them to the train man.
Yes.
And get them partitioned off of the main drive of the Matrix.
Right. And then whenever you look at the HSWII scale, it'll be like 0, Nothing's at 0 because everything's at least a little bit Star Wars.
Everything is at least something Star Wars.
And then you got a lot of things at 2.
Yeah, like nigh on 100 of them.
Yeah. and then it sort of starts paraboling up, and you got a lot of things at 7, and then whenever you get to like the 9-10 area, there'll be a little dot, and it's a little bigger than the other dots, and then when you open that dot up, when you enhance, you'll see all the movies are in there.
And this is what, on like the app, the HSWII app?
Yeah, this is on the HSWII app. Okay. I had this thought like last night while I was falling asleep, probably, where I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we had a graph of everything we've rated?
It sure would, but who's like, gonna do that?
I know. I'm like, I need to remember how to use Excel and then put in, because I was like, what if we could get all of our ratings and then have it on a graph that has the x-axis is all of the topics, and then the y-axis is obviously 0 to 10, and so then you have literally everything in order, and we can see the spread of like what's the most things, you know? I was like, that would be really cool, but I don't know how to do that. And also, it would be a lot of work. It wouldn't be
terribly difficult. It would just be time consuming of like having to re-listen to the 100th episode. Or wait, we did record. We actually documented as we were doing the 100th episode, like what score we gave everything. I think.
I think so. I think we did do that.
Yeah, so it would just be a matter of like wrangling some shit, but we could do that.
Yeah, the hard part would be going back and listening to the last 5 minutes of every episode to
right. Well, and I've got the first maybe 20 actually like logged, and then after a while I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, well, for posterity.
Who's this for?
Yeah, but anyway, listeners, if you're out there and you've been keeping track of all of the ratings, just like send us an email.
If you've been making this graph, please just take a picture of it.
Take a picture of it, send it to us, because I'd love to see that graph. I'd love to see how many, and we'd have to decide if we want to put in the 100th episode ones, because that would that's like doubles our input of the graph right there.
Yeah, it could be sort of similar to the little dot that expands for all the Star Wars movies. There could be like the net of 100th episode, and it would just be called 100th random things, and then when you expand it, you get like a separate new graph.
I like that. 2 graphs. Now we need 2 graphs, everyone.
Yeah, right.
2 graphs. That was a 2 Chainz joke.
Which is also what they have at the Lincoln Park Zoo here in Chicago.
2 chains or 2 graphs?
Long
That's
neck
true.
Guys.
They do have 2 graphs. I saw them at Zoo Lights.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they were out and about, and we were like, both of them? And they were... Their long tongues were out eating some freaking stuff off of
Dippin' Dots.
Eating some Dippin' Dots. They're like, this is the ice cream of the future. And I was like, what? It is the future now. Dippin' Dots has been around.
You've made it to the future. You've been the ice cream of the future since like the 80s. Anyway, we're talking about Rogue One. Rouge One, as everybody spelled it on Twitter for about 3 weeks.
Yes, Rouge the Bat won. Well, I feel weird because I didn't, like, I don't know why this time I felt like I should have taken notes. Because
we just recorded the commentary to this recently, and when we do those, we tend to not, like, pay the fullest attention because we have to, like, talk and make jokes and leave and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and then, yes.
But I really feel like we kind of didn't pay attention.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I don't, gosh, this movie won't...
Let's do like a 90-second synopsis of the movie.
Okay, great.
There is no opening crawl,
no.
And there's about 50 planets right there at the beginning.
Yes.
Guy's wife gets killed. He gets taken by the Empire, and his daughter runs away and hides. She grows up, becomes Jyn Erso. He's Galen Erso. He's like a head scientist on what becomes the Death Star, but he builds in a flaw so that his daughter can find it in the claw computer, and she can give it to the Rebel Alliance, and they can blow it up. It's basically one of the sentences in the opening crawl of the original Star Wars that says, like, Rebel spies just captured plans to the crazy fortress that is the Death Star, and it's a glimmer of hope for the new rebellion. This is them doing that.
Yes.
Basically, it's the final flight of the Osiris, but for Star Wars.
Yeah. And it's a war movie. It's an espionage movie, kind of. It's very different from your standard Star Wars fare. It's a lot darker, a lot more grim. One of our heroes just straight up murks a guy when you first meet him, and it's like, whoa.
It is definitely like the sort of like gray area that I think we sort of yearn for with Star Wars, because it is always like the scary looking guy is the bad guy and he wants evil, and the good guy in the white shirt is good and he wants good. It is sort of nice to see like political muddiness in an otherwise like kind of black and white universe.
Yeah, although I will say that something you said in the commentary that I'm remembering is like, who amongst the Empire, it's like, who thought that a planet destroyer is good? Like none of them are like, well, maybe we shouldn't do an entire planet.
Yeah, it is really weird that it would have even been nice to see like someone other than, of course, the one guy who we know is the hero because we see him in the first scene or whatever. It would have been nice to see other people be like, this is not cool. Or, even like when in, I want to say, Attack of the Clones, at the end of Attack of the Clones come in and save the day at Geonosis, and Obi-Wan says something like, I will admit, without the clones, it would not have been a victory. And Yoda was like, victory, you say? Like, is war a victory, especially if our entire team of soldiers came about under, like, mysterious circumstances? It would have been nice to see, say, Krennic in this movie when they, he goes, wow, it's beautiful, when they, like, basically blow up a planet. It would have been nice to see him go, like even have a moment on his face of, like, ooh, boy, what have I done here?
Yeah, or even if there was something like, this battle station has the power to blow up entire planets. Of course, we don't have to do that. We'll just use the laser to blow up cities and send a message. Like, we're not going to blow... Or, like, some kind of thing.
Or do the GoldenEye thing. The GoldenEye satellites can just, like, snipe a guy from space. Like, a single guy or, like, a house, say.
Yeah, or you can have a hat that you can throw, and it's really sharp. Or you can do slappers only.
Right. Could you imagine, by the way, if okay, so the Death Star starts firing, the guys are on the ledge and they like shield their eyes because the lasers are all coming to a point to like focus and shoot. What if all those lasers were just like the thinnest drop, like when you leave your faucets running in the winter, just like drip, drip, drip. They're really thin and they meet, and they're still relatively thin when they combine into a single beam, and it just like pops one guy. just
and it leaves, it like does a shockwave and leaves the huge like dust storm still, because it hits so hard, but it's just so small that it's just like Luke Skywalker just goes
and he just has like a hole through his middle, like some kind of Daffy Duck cartoon. And his beak is backwards.
yeah. His tongue rolls out and breaks into 1,000 pieces. Sorry, that's Plucky. That's Plucky.
But same idea.
Same kind of oeuvre.
But
Are
yeah,
they related?
So this movie,
are Daffy and Plucky related?
I don't think so, because I think Daffy and Bugs and all the other like mainstay Looney Tunes are the teachers at Acme University.
Yeah.
And they just all have an analog in kid form.
Yeah, it doesn't say that they're related.
Well, the only thing I know for certain is that Babs and Buster are not related, because Buster says it.
It's a teacher-student relationship. Yeah, you're right. They're not related. That's funny.
That's not to say you can't have your own dad as a teacher.
That's true. You can. And hey,
and I pray that you do.
And I pray that you have your own dad as a teacher. Yeah, Buster and Babs are not related. And they're not related.
Buster even says that, I think, in the How I Spent My Vacation.
Yeah.
No relation.
No relation. They're also
You know what's fun to do when you introduce yourself to someone new? Just say your full name and then say no relation.
Yeah. Oh, Josiah Robinson, no relation.
And they would probably say to
Mrs. Robinson? Is that who we're talking about? The graduate?
Yeah, anyone. Actually, honestly, unless you're talking about like my mommy.
Yeah. Most people I'm not related. Hey, truly, I'm not related to most people.
There's a joke in something, and now I can't remember what it is. It's probably 30 Rock, but I can't remember who it is. But the joke is like, I'm such and such, no relation. Well, I guess he is my cousin. It's just like so perfect.
That does sound like a 30 Rock joke.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Rogue One, though.
Yeah, so there's like a cast of crazy, like other
kooky characters.
It's fine. Everybody kind of gets a bit of a caricature. We only get to know each one of these, like, say 5 or 6 characters for like 5 minutes a piece, maybe.
Yeah. This is a putting a team together movie.
It is, yeah.
And I love to put the team together, but I also kind of, this movie won't stay in my head. Like, I enjoyed it when we watched it and did the commentary on it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to remember why I enjoyed it and what parts I liked. And was it like,
that sick Vader scene?
That sick Vader scene at the end. So
listeners,
cool.
We are anti Darth Vader hallway scene.
Yeah,
at least I am. I don't need to speak for you.
I am not as anti. I think it's a cool scene that doesn't fit in the movie. That is my take. It's
a cool, like, 3-minute or 2-minute long scene on its own as a bonus feature in some kind of like multi-disc.
Yeah.
Saga, whatever.
When you go to the games section,
Michael
DVDs.
Delaney has pointed this out before. The sort of Last Jedi discourse that, like, because people hated it so much, people who kind of liked it sort of had to really like it in a sort of public-facing way. Like that. That's how I feel about that Darth Vader scene. I think it's a little silly. I think it's fine, but because people love it so much, I feel like I have to like dig in my heels and be like, no, fuck that scene.
No, fuck it. It sucks shit.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you mean.
It just does really feel like in the middle of, or like toward the end of, I suppose, that movie, it takes a commercial break and shows like a 90s toy commercial where the kids are like banging toys around on like a set. You know how like action figure commercials back then, like, the toys were in like an environment.
Yes, they'd be like the freaking like
mossy, like foggy canyons.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, that is what it feels like. It is at odds with the rest of the movie because it's a different genre. Like, it's just like, here's like this cool
at
thing. At
the 110 or however many minute mark, you just get to play 3 minutes of The Force Unleashed, and then it goes back to the movie.
That is something that's interesting about the movies versus the video games, right? Is because we do know what the Force can do in other media, but we very rarely see the Force do that in movies.
Right.
And so it does feel weird to see Darth Vader like chop people up like that, because it's like, wait, we've never seen him do that.
Yeah, it feels like when you're powered up in Battlefront 2 or whatever.
Yeah. It's like I got the power up. I'm invincible for like 2 seconds, and I'm gonna really just like destroy the other team. Let's see if I can. This is the game that we have played the first time around for Rogue One. Can Josiah remember the names of all the characters?
That's right. That was literally the game.
I am going to
try. And then after it was over, I told all of them to you, and then I said, okay, you get a bonus point if you can repeat any of those.
Yeah, and I couldn't. I think I could maybe do one. So let's see. Here's the main team.
I can do, I think, all of them.
Okay, here's the main team. Jyn Erso.
Yeah. Ding!
Cassian Andor.
Ding!
K2SO?
Ding!
That's the robot. Now this is where it gets tricky.
You know that robot has 2 dicks? Oh, what? Sorry. He's played by Alan Tudyk. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was good. I like that. There was a rumor going around, like...
No.
I don't know who told me this, or if it was an actual rumor, or if my friend just made this up, but whenever, like, X-Men 2 came out, like, one of my friends told me, like, Nightcrawler has 2 dicks.
Like the character? Or Alan Cumming, the guy who played him?
The character, they were like,
That's
they were like, the
hilarious.
actor had an interview and they said like that was something about him. And I was like, whoa, that's weird.
That's
and I
such a stupid...
never ever confirmed it. And I'm sure that my friend Riley was just making that up and being dumb. But anyway.
Other characters in the main, like, what is it, 7?
Chirrut Imwe.
That's right. Ding!
And then his boyfriend Maze.
Close.
What's his name?
Baze Malbus.
Baze Malbus. Oh, I just mixed up. I did a little spoonerism. And then there's the pilot, the Imperial pilot, whose name
His last name is a chess piece.
Rook.
Yes. And his
Bodhi.
first name... Yes. I was going to say, his first name is the name of my sister's car.
Oh, okay. I would have got that.
My mom's car, when we were like teens, and I mean in college and stuff, because my sister drives it now, she got it like new or newish, and we were like, Allie was like, what's its name? And we decided it'd be Bodhi, named after a single
skier?
episode of Rugrats.
Oh.
There's this episode where Angelica goes to day camp, and so does Susie, and Susie thrives, but Angelica has a really hard time like meeting people and like doing well at camp. And she discovers there's another kid who kind of is having the same thing, and he hides out in like a outhouse the whole time, and he like somehow is eating a bunch of snacks that he like stole or whatever. Anyway, his name is Bodhi, and I was always fascinated by that. My sister and I both were. There's a the like camp counselor is the sort of like the Cool Hand Luke guy, the like drill sergeant. I don't know that movie. The guy in charge of the chain gang or whatever. And Angelica's hiding in the outhouse, and Bodhi is walking up to it, and the counselor like catches him because he knows something's up, and he goes, "Now who do you suppose was in there?" And Bodhi goes, "Poop." Anyway,
that's a good
my
joke.
sister's car's name is Bodhi, not named after Bodhi Rook, but
after Bodhi from Rugrats.
Yes.
I was gonna guess Bodhi Miller, who I think was a skier in an American
spelled
skier
differently
for
though,
the Olympics.
Bode.
Yeah,
this
Bode.
Bodhi is Bodhi.
Right.
And who else? Is that it? That's
the
all
whole
of them?
team, right?
That's the main guys.
That's the main team. They've got a cool martial arts guy. They've got a big artillery guy. They've got like a pilot who doesn't do pilot stuff, but he's like the man on the inside.
Yeah, right.
They've got a handsome man. They've got a pretty woman. They've got a robot. And that's all you need.
Yeah, you know what I think I'm realizing now as we sort of identify all these characters, other than like Jin and to extent Cassian, because we do get a bit of development for him. He's the one who kind of betrays a friend because it's for the greater good or whatever. The other guys are just sort of like their job. Like this movie is sure, like people say it's a war movie. It's like an operations movie. Like we see people like operating their job, like doing business.
We have artillerist, who's Baze. We have monk. We have robot.
Right.
And we have defector, imperial defector, who that's sort of his main role is just to be like knowing some stuff on the inside.
Right.
And also getting his head like squished by Bokolit. That thing is so nasty. Guys, there's a whole part of this movie that's some sick tentacle porn in the middle of it. And it really is weird.
Forrest Whitaker is just like so into.
Yeah, he's like, that's my boar gullet. Which is a bad name too, because gullet is like your mouth, stomach. It's like your eating system or whatever. Like,
right.
So
and it is boring.
And it's a boar gullet.
A
is like,
bored gullet.
It's a bad. What is the actual definition of gullet?
Yeah, I think of it as like a throat. Like,
yeah, the passage by
slurp
which
it down
food
your gullet.
passes from mouth to the stomach. So it's your esophagus, down your gullet. Charlie says gullet all the time, and so it's just a funny word to me because she's always like, I just had to cram some food down my gullet, and it's a very funny word to me.
Gullet.
Gullet.
Anyway, there's a guy who's made out of CGI.
There's a guy who's made out of CGI, and it looks weird.
You've all seen the movie. It is good. It's got some like cool 70s original trilogy vibes because it does take place like the day before Star Wars.
Okay, this is something that I think we talked about in the commentary, maybe, or maybe it was in a different review or episode. Mm-hmm. But there is like, I think it was in the commentary. There is like a level of cool and good that anything Star Wars will be because the world is cool and like there's cool, like the aesthetic is cool and good.
Yeah,
because that was what we were saying about like, because even Solo has its moments because it's like, well, it's cool, it's Star Wars, like there's cool Star Wars stuff in it, and I feel like this is similar where it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool, it's got cool Star Wars stuff in it. Like whether or not the movie itself is good is up for debate. Like I think it's a fine movie. It's not like my favorite or anything.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
And it's like well executed, but like there's cool stuff because it's Star Wars. It's got like X-wings. It's got a Death Star.
It's got a bad guy in white with a cape.
Yeah, it's like it's got a good aesthetic. Like it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got a beach scarf.
It's got a beach. Yeah, scarf. It's got the planet, the Jedi planet. Yeah, I love it.
It's got like cool business going on, and I think seeing Jeddah, the Jedi planet, like in the past would be really cool. Like if we were to see that in like that new Eclipse game. Yes, which I maintain is a weird name for a space game because eclipses are planet specific. Yeah, right. Yeah, Eclipse is very like relevant to the planet you're standing on.
Yeah, like if someone in Star Wars was like. Go ahead.
I am like maybe halfway through the second book, and I have been for probably 6 months.
Yeah, sure.
And I think I'm just gonna cut bait.
Yeah, maybe,
I don't care anymore.
Maybe that happens to me sometimes with books and or video games, where I get to a certain point and I'm like, "Am I having fun?" And then if the answer is no, it's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I can just stop doing it. I don't actually have to finish."
Yeah. Like I don't love reading anyway, but when I have a book I like, I end up reading it like. It's the only thing I think about all day, and this has not been that. I think the first one was like nice and it had cool ideas, and this one has had some cool ideas too. But I'm just like,
so here's what we need to do. This is what we need to do. This is what we have to do on these episodes. Is we got to figure out where it fits in, adjacent to the rest of the movies. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what we got to figure out, and let's talk about it a little bit before we have to go to the break.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So. The Last Jedi is the lowest rated right now with an 8. Rise of Skywalker is right above it with an 8.
Yeah, like 8 and 1/32 or some bullshit like that.
8.0625.
Or a 16th.
A 16th. Yeah. Solo, we gave just a solid 8.1.
That's right.
We moved to 10th.
Because there is an 8 and an 8th coming up, right?
Yeah, and then The Force Awakens is 8 and an 8th. Attack of the Clones is 8 1/4. Empire is 8.5. Revenge of the Sith is 8 3/4. New Hope is 9. Phantom Menace is 9 1/4. Return of the Jedi is a solid 10. So, does this feel more or less Star Wars basically than Last Jedi?
So here's my case for this being low. Not as low as we initially gave it, but
sure, of course.
The only pieces in this movie from a sort of superficial standpoint that are in other Star Wars things are like the Death Star, and like C-3PO makes an appearance, but otherwise it's like fully new shit.
Yeah.
Kind of. And like Star Wars rarely introduces like a full new cast. Yeah, and you can tell in this movie that they were almost like scared to, which is why there's an entire character that they raised an actor from the dead, and they put Darth Vader in it, and you know.
And they have like Carrie Fisher at the end. Yeah, it is like the only Star Wars movie that is not directly in some way related to the main characters in the original trilogy.
Yeah. But then, of course, it is like the day before A New Hope.
It's true.
And so, like, we don't see any... we see the Rebel Alliance as we know them through the main trilogy. I think a really cool movie, or perhaps this Andor series, will explore the sort of founding and, like, inner infighting politicking of the Rebel Alliance, because I think that's a cool idea. You know, going from like the day Palpatine says it's an empire to now to A New Hope, like seeing all that business play out would be really cool. But this movie is like, remember the beginning of Star Wars? This is like the day before.
Right. It is the literal day before, whenever like we see the action leading up to the very beginning of episode 4, whenever it's like there we see the flash drive get handed off between doors.
You know, I think that's the other reason why I don't really like that scene is they do the same thing the next day.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been cool to see Darth Vader, like, I mean, I get why they did it. People want to see Darth Vader, like, kicking ass or whatever, but, like, I would have almost rather seen just that shot of him, like, in the loading bay of his ship, like, watching the Tantive 4, like, escape. You know? So
that we know that like, in a little bit.
Well, let's go get that motherfucker.
Right. They are going to board that, and it's going to be not good for the Tantive 4 crew.
Right.
I think that it feels, yes, it's because it is sort of, it's not that it's divorced from, well, it does feel divorced from the Skywalker story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, it is still part of the main story because it's like literally the day before, but it feels divorced from the Skywalker story because there aren't like any, well, you know, Leia's in it for 2 seconds, but
and of course Vader, of course, for I guess maybe 5 seconds is how long he's in the movie. Right.
His little scene in the middle, but
yeah, he did that thing of like, okay, we have to at least make an appearance at the party.
Right. Yeah. He was like, how late should we be? Can we get there halfway through the movie?
Yeah.
And then I'll show up for like, I don't know, a second. I'll say hi to Krennic and then I'll leave.
Yeah.
And then show up again at the very end because the other party he went to sucked and he was like, I guess I'm back at this party.
Right.
Man, do you remember going to parties?
No.
I forgot. Man.
But but then of course the argument we've made a lot with like the Disney era of Star Wars is it's full of like fan servicey bullshit, like when we see Ponda Baba and when we like, you know, there's all sorts of like holding up the remote lightsaber target droid to the screen and going, remember? Like there's a lot of that in this. It might not be as offensive as The Force Awakens is, but
it feels less okay, here's what I will say. It feels less Star Wars than Rise of Skywalker to me.
Yeah. I think the fact that like the sort of trilogy characters, like the Luke Skywalkers of it all, being absent from this, like do make it feel less Star Wars than a lot of things. Yeah,
I feel like that's such a big part of the chili that it brings it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I have the rubric up, as a matter of fact. Maybe we view it after the break, but
sure.
You know, looking through it, stealth, sneaking around, that's a big one. But then black and white, good and evil. I mean, it's still pretty clear, but we are playing for maybe the first time with like mucky gray.
Yeah, our good guys are a little bit gray.
So, yeah, I mean, I think this might be worth looking at.
I like it. But let's go to the break first, then we can come back and play a game and then look at the rubric. Yahoo! And we're back.
Yeah, I was trying to think if any of the characters sound like back.
And we're Chirrut, no. And we're Cassian, no. And we're Rebellions are built on hope.
And we're Borgullet.
And we're Borgullet. God. If I was Borgullet, I'd kill myself.
Okay,
we're back. What a terrible existence.
And, I mean, I suppose we can continue using this game in the future, but it feels like maybe it's the last time in a while that we're going to be doing a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know, the Book of Boba Fett comes out, like, tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
But we are going to return once again to the Star Wars Minute game.
Yay, let's see if
which,
I'm
of
good
course,
at it
I
today.
made to reflect the 9 Skywalker saga movies, which is funny because that's not the movie we're doing, or like the movie we're doing will not be included in this week's game.
Correct.
But I wrote all these down like months ago, and I still haven't used all of them. So for new listeners, or if you're not familiar with the game, I am going to name a Star Wars movie and tell Josiah how many minutes that movie has in its runtime, and then name something that happens in the movie, and he is going to have to try to guess what minute that happens at. And let's see.
And sometimes I'm really good at this game.
Yeah, he's gotten it right on the money a number of times. So we're doing the solo play rules, which is you guess once. If you get it right on the money, it's 5 points. And then in increments of 5 away from the target, you like keep losing points. And this week, let's see, we did the C-3PO one, but okay, your choices are dismemberment, music, and that's actually all.
Let's do dismemberment.
All right, we're doing the Star Wars Minute dismemberment moments.
Say that 10 times fast.
As the title maybe alludes to, these are all different dismemberments in Star Wars because Star Wars has dismemberment.
Yes.
So let's see. First one is, we're going in release order as we always do on this game. The first one is A New Hope, the Disney Plus version of all of these, by the way. The Disney Plus A New Hope, featuring McClunky, has a 124-minute long runtime. And this is the moment when, I just mentioned him, Ponda Baba gets his arm chopped off at the cantina.
Oh,
and real blood is on the ground.
Yeah,
Because for some reason, it wasn't like a cauterized wound.
And it was real human blood that they used.
Right.
This is pretty early, but I'm going to say it's later than I think it is because a lot of stuff has to happen. Luke's parents, Luke's uncle and aunt have to die. There's the stuff with Leia. So I'm going to go with 35.
So that is 13 minutes away.
Whoa, it's way earlier than I thought.
48.
40. Oh, it's 48. I thought you said it was 13 minutes. I was like, geez.
You get 3 points for that.
Okay, that's not bad. I've done better.
Oh, no, you get 2 points. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Within 15. Okay, the next one is Luke gets his hand chopped off in Empire Strikes Back, which has a 127-minute runtime on Disney+.
So this is close to the end.
I'd say.
He's got to hang from the thing. I'm going to say, it's 127, you said?
Mm-hmm. And these movies all have like 4 minutes of credits or something like that.
That's true. I'm going to go 115.
Very good. Very close. It's 111. So you're within 5. So you get 4 points for that one.
Woo! I can never tell if it's impressive when I get these right or not.
Right.
Like, is this hard? I don't know. Listeners, is this hard? Do you get him right?
Yeah, let us know, listeners, if you get them right or if you're close.
Tweet at me and say you're bad at this game. It's not hard, or tweet at me and be like, you are good. It is hard.
And then just tag Star Wars Minute, the podcast.
Yeah, go ahead and tag them.
Okay, the next movie is Return of the Jedi, 134 minutes long, and this is when Darth Vader gets his arm chopped off.
Also, pretty close to the end. What was the runtime again?
134.
I'm going to say 120.
114.
Ooh!
So you were within 10 minutes on that, so you get 3 points.
I was so close to getting 4 points again.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, Phantom Menace. Released the same year as The Matrix.
Yes, indeed. Phantom
Disney
Menace.
Plus Phantom Menace is 136 minutes long, and this is when, I suppose it's a dismemberment, Darth Maul is chopped in half.
Yeah, his bottom half is dismembered from his top half.
Right, because he does actually eventually come back to life. So it is like his legs and penis get cut off.
Yeah.
And his little butt.
Yeah. Let's see. What was the runtime again?
136 minutes.
I'm going to go I'm going to do it again. I'm going to say it again. 120.
It's 125.
Wow.
So that's a 4-pointer because you're right there within 5.
Yes.
I'll count it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Attack of the Clones, 142 minutes, the longest so far. This is when Anakin gets his arm chopped off by Count Dooku.
Now, here's the question. Do I remember this movie at all? Yes, sometimes. Does that happen in the first fight? No. It happens in the last fight, I believe. Wait, yes. I don't know what's going on. 1:30.
For the movie you were like the least confident in, you got the closest so far. It's minute 1:28.
Nice.
Yes.
I was confusing it with the beginning fight in Revenge of the Sith for some reason.
When he's like, do it.
I was like, is that when it happens? But I was like, wait, that's the wrong movie.
The Wrong Missy.
The Wrong Missy, starring...
Which I didn't see.
Neither did I. It looked bad. I love Lauren Lapkus, but, it looks bad.
Okay, next is Revenge of the Sith, episode 3. It is 140 minutes, and this is when Mace Windu gets his arm chopped off.
Give me that runtime one more time.
140.
Okay, it's earlier than the previous ones, but still pretty late. I'm going to go 1:15.
75.
Wow, I was way off.
Yeah, the whole, like, they have to, like, kill all the Jedi, then they have to, like, there's so many things this movie has to do as it ends, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's true. There's a lot.
There's the like 55-minute long fucking jumping around in lava goo fight.
Yes, that takes forever.
Luke and Leia have to be born. Darth Vader has to get put together in the lab and go, no!
No! I'm a Frankenstein!
Okay, jumping now to the Disney era. Episode 7, The Force Awakens, a 138-minute long movie. This is the closest I could get to a dismemberment. It's when Han gets stabbed in the belly.
Yeah, his intestines got dismembered. That's pretty close to the end. You said it was 100... What?
138.
125.
It is 109.
Okay.
Because everybody's got to get out of there. They got to blow up the planet thing. Yeah. They got to... Rey and Kylo fight in the snow.
I got 1 point from that, I think.
109. And what did you say? 120?
125.
Yeah, so I think you do get 1 point. You're right. Okay, The Last Jedi, 152 minutes, the longest of all.
Okay.
Okay, here's my thing. We've already done the Snoke getting cut in half scene in a previous Star Wars Minute game.
Great.
So this is when Snoke's ship gets cut in half by Vice Admiral Holdo going at it at light speed.
The good old ship dismemberment. It's pretty late. I'm going to say, but then no, because they still have to have that whole fight on
like an entire act of the movie.
So I'm going to say earlier than I think. I'm going to go like 110.
112.
Nice.
Very good. A 4-pointer there.
Dang, I haven't gotten any 5s. I've gotten a 5 every time before.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
At least all the ones I've kept track of.
Well, the last one that you got a 5 on was the very last one.
Yes.
Like The Rise of Skywalker, which we have brought ourselves to now. Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. This is when a dismemberment has happened, but we don't actually see it happen. This is when we see that dude's full-ass head. In like the First Order ship, that guy with like the horns who we saw. We see early on, and he's like, here's the information I got from the spy, and then they're like, plop. It's when we see his head.
That's pretty early. I have to get this right exactly so I can keep my streak.
It's right after the 2 stormtroopers in the hallway are like, Knights of Ren, ghouls. But I thought they said goals.
Goals.
Like Knights of Ren, goals.
Goals. I wish I could be a Knight of Ren.
But it was ghouls.
Ghouls.
Which isn't good either, but like I did think it was like straight up like TikTok speak.
Goals,
like
baby.
Squad goals.
Yeah. Knights of Ren are totally squad goals. I'm going to say 18.
Very close. It's 21.
Damn it.
That's another 4-pointer.
I didn't get any 5s this time. But I got a lot of 4s.
Knights of Ren walk by, and then the stormtroopers are like filming them on their phone, and then they play it later, and it's like, oh no! Oh no! Oh, no.
Listeners, for those of you who don't know, Mike recently caved and got TikTok.
Yeah.
Which has also been nice because a lot of people have been doing like repost your most viral video or whatever.
Yeah, right.
So there's been a lot of classic stuff from earlier in the year that's been coming up. And Mike has sent me, I think only one really that was a classic where I was like, it's great that he's getting to experience some of the classics from the summer and everything that he didn't get to experience.
Yeah, right.
There was the I'm not a vaccine hoochie, I'm not a vaccine slut. You're not going to put it in my butt. You're not going to put it in my arm.
Yeah.
She misses the rhyme. It's very
so
good.
Frustrating.
Yeah, it's truly next level.
We were watching Shark Tank last weekend, and there's this company called Banana Loca, which is like this weird gadget to core a banana and then fill it with like Nutella or whatever, and you can use it in other like tube-shaped shit or whatever. But
that is not. Bananas don't have cores.
Well, yeah, no, like literally, like pull out a core, like how you take a core sample of the earth or whatever.
I hope that the sharks were like, that's stupid.
Well, crazy enough, 2 of them ended up. In fact, they did say it was kind of dumb. Anyway, it's called Banana Loca, and the jingle for it was, "Open your boca, banana loca. Open your boca, banana loca." So, okay, mouth in Spanish and crazy in Spanish, I suppose. But I was like, I don't like that meter. It doesn't work for me.
No, I was just about to say, like, one of them needs like one extra beat.
Yeah.
Open up your boca. God, what would it be? Open up your boca, banana loca.
Yeah, I mean, like it needs a page 1 rewrite.
Open up your is 4 syllables, and then banana's only 3, so that's part of the issue. Open up your boca, banana loca, because the boca is landing on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then banana loca, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so it's like that doesn't feel good.
No, it does not.
That sucks.
It's open up your boca, you need banana loca. Something like that.
Yes, thank you. Something like that.
Yeah.
Open up your boca. This product is useless. I hope it fails. I know that there's probably like someone's dream is this product.
Yeah, it was actually kind of a cute thing, and it made me think maybe you could use it to core out a hot dog and fill it with like relish
Nutella.
Or mustard. Or Nutella.
Nutella. A little chocolate dog. A little choco dog.
Chocolatey hot dog.
Nasty.
We went out to Superdog this weekend. You ever been there? You a hot dog guy?
I do. I like a dog. I like a dog.
Like a Chicago dog, like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I love a Chicago dog.
Anyway, that was the game. We're talking about Rouge 1. And I've got the I almost called it the Matrix, the rubric pulled up.
What if the Matrix was called the rubric?
No one can be shown what the rubric is. You have to see it for yourself.
It's like, oh, well, it looks like this has this many points. Okay, interesting.
Level of difficulty?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to like actually insert values here, but and thanks again to our listener who sent this in, Andrew. We haven't visited it in a while, so I'm glad we're pulling it back up.
Yeah, we have
here on the last episode of 2021. So just going down the like categories in the rubric, character archetypes. Are they kind of commedia dell'arte level like stock characters? And we did say kind of like their whole thing is just like their job.
Yeah,
but they're not. I don't know. They're not like in a sort of Ocean's 11 or like Italian Job type movie.
Yes.
It's like so much clearer that the person does like one specific thing. And in this, it's like they're all just kind of like running around.
Yeah, totally. It's not like demolitions expert.
Yeah, right. Like the guy at the computer with the headset on going like, okay, go to your left. No, your other left.
Yeah. It's not the guy in the chair to quote Ned.
The Napster.
Yeah.
We got to do that movie at some point.
The
Italian Job from like 2002 or whenever it came out.
I need to watch that because I haven't seen it.
I used to fucking love it. I bet if I watch it now, I would like roll my eyes at it. But like it like really turned me on to the whole world of like heist movies.
Mike loves the heist. He loved Cruella.
I love a frigging heist, which is actually funny because I don't care about that set piece in this movie, in Rogue One.
Oh, the heist
because
part.
This is something that I think we need a term for. I'm going to call it Smurphy's Law because it's a little bit more than Murphy's Law, which, of course, is what can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah.
In this movie, throughout the last set piece of them trying to get the codes... everything that could go wrong does.
Yeah.
And then yet the yes and to that is they pretty much get past whatever obstacle with like 1 second of like effort, like with ease.
It is an annoying like peril fatigue where it's like literally every step of the way it's like, okay, we got to pull the thing out with the claw machine. Okay,
it's
the
like
claw
if you're running
broken.
if you're running like the length of a football field or something, and then at like the receiving team's 30-yard line, someone throws like one chair at you.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I'll go around this.
I'll run this chair.
Like at the 50, they throw like 50 marbles, and it's like, okay, well, I'll just slow down for a second so I don't slip on these.
Yeah. And then one person...
Like weird, not even hurdles.
No, not hurdles. And because there's not...
They are like scary things, like the claw machine's not working, so now we have to free climb, but they just succeed.
Yeah, it's not like... There's never like... It's not interesting to watch them problem solve because it is like, oh, well, I have to manually do this thing. Okay, oh, well, I did it. Okay, well, I have to... The way I described it in the commentary is it's like, if it's not... like when I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons as like a DM... If I present them a problem that is boring to solve, that's like that's my fault. That's like not a fun story. It's like give them problems that are fun to solve, where it's like you have to actually put some critical thinking into it.
It's like we need this act to be 20 or this set piece or whatever to be like 15-20 minutes long, and we got to show people flying around up in space, and that's basically the same every time we see it. So like we need to cut in and out of like other things going on the ground, and it's like, well, then do other things.
Yeah, we have to. It's so much of it feels like padding, where it's like, and they're almost like too adept at saving the day every time. Never do you actually feel like they're not going to make it.
Right? Yeah.
You're like, we've seen them be very good at this.
Like in Back to the Future, for example, or in Star Wars, in the Trench Run, like they have a single goal, and then like stuff keeps like, like a single like actual little operation they're doing. Like I'm driving straight ahead and I need to have the wire touch the thing. But like, I don't know why this feels different than that. Because now that I'm saying it out loud, it's like, okay, well, yeah, but like Doc didn't need to pull on the cable so much that it came out of, I don't know. Just something about this version of it is like, they need to be like circus performers to keep like solving the hiccups, like,
I think it's because there's too many of them. It's the same reason why Rise of Skywalker doesn't feel as impactful, because there's too many like goobers like along the way.
Yes. And then too many people to come save the day.
Yes. And so whenever there's too many, like, because Doc Brown, it's like, okay, well, we know the thing has to hit the wire. The wire's messed up. And so the whole problem is just, okay, the wire's messed up. How's he going to fix it? It's not like, well, he had a problem setting up the wire, and then he had a problem getting up to the clock tower, and then he had a problem on the clock tower.
And then the whole clock tower exploded, and he had to figure out a different way to...
Right, exactly. It's like when there's too many of them in a row, it feels like boring. It's like, okay, well... We know they're going to do it because they can't not do it.
Yeah.
Because that's... The
movie and they also almost all of them seem like truly unwinnable. Like when the like long platform she has to go out onto to like adjust the fucking satellite dish or whatever, it's like, why does the satellite dish move as quickly as it does? Like, you have to realign the dish, and it's like, okay, well, that's going to take exactly as long as it takes for the next bad thing to happen.
Yes.
It should probably take a lot longer, or be an immediate thing.
Right, or it's just already done.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to worry about it.
Right.
If I was script doctoring that, I'd be like, we can keep 2 of these.
Yeah.
All right, everyone?
Yeah.
You can have 2. That's all, though. Only 2 things get to not work. Maybe 3 if it feels good.
Yeah, right.
But these feel bad because there's too many of them in a row.
And it also feels weird that, like, they don't just get shot.
No.
Like, there's so many times that the obstacle is, I'm going to shoot you, and then they manage to not get shot.
Yeah. It's too many.
That was an exploration into the first category on the rubric.
Yes, it's true.
Anyway, character archetypes, stealth, sneaking around. There's lots of that.
Lots of it.
But it's not in that sort of Scooby-Doo way where they, like, put on another costume or whatever. It's, like, actual real, like, military stealth.
They do put on a costume.
Wait, yeah, you're right. That's true. Never mind. Black and white, good and bad, clearly defined. We did say that it's, like, a little murkier than most.
Yeah, the good guys are murkier in this one.
Hero's journey.
Nah, I don't really think so. It's more of like
not really.
It's exploration of, like, what, I don't know, why people fight. Or what people fight for, as opposed to one person. It's done through the lens
of, like, a single hero, but, like, it's not nearly the traditional, like, Harry Potter, Luke Skywalker thing. Composite, is it does it have its inspirations and influences on its sleeves? In the sense that Star Wars is the thing it's ripping off.
Yeah, and also, like, I think you could make the argument that it's like it's pulling from war movies. So, like, I could see that. It's a little bit of there.
A movie / narrative. So is this like a movie, and does it have a story?
It is a movie. It does have a story.
The thing that gets it a 10 on this rubric is this material is a movie, like a feature film.
Yeah.
And then culture, its cultural impact. Big fat fucking opinion. I feel like there aren't a ton of big opinions on this other than that, like, Darth Vader scene, and that people are like, I have recently seen a lot of people say, like, this is my favorite Star Wars movie, which is, like, pretty dumbfounding to me because it needs Star Wars in order to exist.
Yeah.
It's like not a movie on its own.
I think that this is, I don't know if it's big fat fucking opinions about this, but I do think that most people either immediately forgot about it after they saw it, or they loved it,
or, like, weirdly will, like, be buried with it because it's their favorite movie.
and I fall very much in the previous camp where I was like, it was good, and then I was done with it. So I don't know.
So not big fat fucking opinions. Maybe some weird opinions.
Yeah, definitely some weird ones.
Universal awareness. Is it something that, like, everyone knows what it is?
Honestly, I mean, it's Star Wars, but people, this would be one that I think people would forget about if they were watching Star Wars movies.
Like, I could see having a conversation with someone and mentioning, oh yeah, I do a podcast, we just talked about Rogue One, and them going, oh, did I see that?
Yeah.
And they did, but they just don't remember.
Right. It's definitely one of those.
And then bangers, music. It does have, like, its own, like, Star Wars-y couple of songs, but it's not like freaking, like, a greatest hits album. No skips.
No, definitely not. I mean, I feel like there are enough things on that rubric were kind of like,
I know.
It sort of justifies the lower rating for me.
Now, a 5 or a 6, though, does not work for me.
No.
Because R2-D2 is in it. So is the Death Star. It's about the Death Star, in fact.
Yeah. That's way too low. We were insane. But as far as...
It has something from the original trilogy and the prequels in that it's a full CGI character of a guy from the original trilogy.
That's true. Now, the question is... do we want to move... Because I do think it's going to fall under Last Jedi. It does feel...
I think so, too.
But, so now the question is, do we want to have... this take the place of Last Jedi as an 8, or do we want to put it, like, right under as, like, a 7.9 or something like that?
Right, because having it be an 8 would make everything kind of clean. But I think we've given Last Jedi an 8 on both of the episodes that we reviewed it. I feel like it's, like, fairly well cemented as an 8.
Well, let's do, like,
episode 8.
Let's do, like,
my favorite number.
8's a magic number.
7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. That's how I remember. Well, I'm not going to dox her, I guess, but too late. I'm telling the story already. That's how I remember Charlie's birthday is. It's like why I was 6 afraid of 7 but her birthday is not. This is stupid. It's not 7, 8, 9. It's 7, 6, 8, 9. And so for like the year and everything, so I'm always like, why was 6 afraid of 7? 7, 6, 8, 9, which is stupid because it's not the joke. But that's Charlie's birthday, everyone. So now you can all remember it, I guess. and dox her, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
Don't dox her, please. Dox me. If you're gonna dox anybody, take me instead.
Yeah, pay attention to me.
Should we give it a 7.9 then? Maybe?
I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
7.9. Rogue One. Okay, and then what's our
a unit of measure?
Yeah, unit of measures. Mine's got to be Boar Gullets.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mine's that guy who's like, Rah! Actually, I think that's what I did the last time we did Rogue One. Maybe I'll pick a different one. Mine's going to be different clips of reused footage from A New Hope of gold later.
Gold later. Actually, mine's going to be the Mon Calamari general. Who's I'm a fish.
I'm a fish.
That was a joke we made in the commentary. Everyone should go listen to it. It's pretty good commentary. It's going to be, I keep forgetting the name of the race. Mon Calamarians.
Yeah.
Which is so funny that he named a race of fish people that. What a real jokester.
Yeah.
So 7.9. There it is.
Love it.
So everybody, this is our last...
We've officially calibrated.
We've recalibrated. They're all in their own little area. But Rogue One is 7.9. Last Jedi is an 8. Rise of Skywalker is 8 and 16th. Solo is 8.1. Force Awakens is 8 and an 8th. Attack of the Clones is 8 and a quarter. Empire is 8.5. Revenge of the Sith is 8 and 3/4. New Hope is 9. Phantom Menace is 9 and a quarter. And Return of the Jedi is a 10.
This is the stupidest podcast of all the podcasts, and that's really saying something.
Yeah. It's a dumb show. So if you're here listening because you saw my name in a program and I shouted out this podcast, then welcome.
And if that's not how you found it, but it's because you saw one of like 20 postcards at the Second City Training Center. And welcome to you as well.
Welcome. This is the show. But let's see.
And if it's neither of those two ways, you should let us know how you found the show by tweeting at us or emailing us. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at How Star Wars Is It, or email us at agoodpodcast@gmail.com. Because, of course, this is a good podcast.
That was a good segue into the wrap-up. You can also join us over on Patreon. I believe it's patreon.com/howstarwarsisit.
Yeah.
And for the low cost of $5 a month, or 10 if you want to give us 10, you can get a weekly bonus episode and also a monthly commentary track, which this month is Rogue One. This month, I guess, finishing off December is Solo. Yeah. Next month is Rogue One. And it's a good commentary. You should check it out. This is funny because normally I say the thing that Mike said, and Mike says the Patreon thing. So it feels very foreign coming out of my mouth right now. But it's only $5, and it's just the price of a coffee, like an expensive cup of coffee. So go buy yourself a cup of coffee and listen to us talk about stuff. We also have a really good episode of the Patreon coming out. Let's see, when is it coming out?
Right.
This week.
In a week?
In a week and a half. And in it, me and Mike make a lot of jokes about Schrodinger's cat, and it's really good. It's my new favorite episode of the Patreon that we've done. So please check it out.
Otherwise, I'm pretty sure it's time for Tubby Bye-Bye.
Yeah, Mike's taking all the things that I normally say. I was going to pull up an email, see if we had any good spam lately, but they're all just the same. Sandra telling Sandra she has some missed messages. Yeah, so. Like we always say, we love you. And may the Fourth be with you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sandra, you've still got 11 unread messages. See what they said?